it's like we don't have to own everything that people say about us, good or bad. We don't have to carry it. And I think my suggestion would be is if you find yourself walking around wearing everybody's opinion, is to take a look. Are you willing to look at that a little bit more deeply? There's another exercise that I saw, it's like, ask yourself, why not? Why can't I do this? Not, you're never going to say, oh, I'm afraid of success. Very, very few people would ever admit to being afraid of success. Very few people even recognize that exists within them or even as a possibility. Just say something like, I think I'll write a book, and watch what happens inside. Listen to the voices. I think I'll write a book on this topic. You don't know anything about that. And write down what your brain is saying. What is your, what is your ego? What is your, what are you hearing in your head? What conversation is coming up for you? So if it says you don't know anything about that topic, write it down. Write down the things all the negative things that we tell ourselves. And, there's something about looking at these messages that we give ourselves in the light of day that takes a lot of the power away from them. And if it says, well, you don't know anything about that, well, maybe I know more than I think, and maybe I can take a class in this, or you know what? She's right. My ego is right. I don't know enough about that, and I can get a little more information because I know almost enough about that. Or I can take a class, or I can get a co-author, or, how could you write a book about kids if you don't have any? It's like, well, yeah, I'm going to get criticized for that, but I've been criticized for not teaching. I taught fourth grade for 6 years, but I didn't teach fourth grade in Louisiana, and one woman took objection to anything that I knew because I hadn't taught in her school. So, it's write down your objections. Write down what is coming up for you. Write down, because that's where you're going to see the patterns of your fears.
That is probably the most amazing thing we've had anyone tell us. Because typically we say block out your fears. No, they're no good. You don't listen to them. You can do anything you want. But if you write them down, and you can also look at them and say, what's the opposite?
Yeah, absolutely. Then take a look at it. It's like, look for the patterns. And if it says something like, well, you're not a very good writer, it's like, you're absolutely right. And I know a wonderful editor who can help me with that. And I will get better, because writing is a learned skill. Writing is a learned skill. Personality isn't, and I can even change that if I want.
Yes, no, you're absolutely. A lot of people tell me I write the way I talk, and I won't change my writing for anyone, and I don't mean to sound ignorant or egotistical about it, but that's me. That's who I am. Some people are going to love the blogs that I write, and some people are not going to like them, and I can't change that. All I could do is be transparent, give you everything that I have to give, and write about what I truly believe about. But this concept is a phenomenal concept that you're putting forth.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to validate the authenticity,
go ahead.
Because the authenticity is very evident in your blog. The authenticity, it's your personality is there. Do we need help with spell check? Do we need help with grammar? Absolutely. That's why I'm getting better at that all the time. And don't ever leave that to me to edit my own stuff. I have walked away from writing contracts, from book contacts and book deals, when they insisted on taking my personality out of my writing. And it's not an ego thing. It's like that sounds like something that a computer generated. If it doesn't sound like me, if somebody isn't reading this and getting the feel of who I am, then why am I bothering to write this?
Yeah.
So you hang in, because that authenticity is so important, and it comes through.
Thank you.
That's where the passion comes from, I think. Or maybe that's where it becomes evident.